Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's largest platform for entrepreneurs. Any questions that you have about any aspect of your business, we've got it covered here on the show. I'm Sunanda Jaiseelan. Tonight, we're talking about planning for the new fiscal. This is part of a series that we're doing here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. Special conversations with some of India's biggest and brightest minds, helping you plan yourself and your business for the new fiscal, keeping in mind the new wave of the COVID virus that is affecting us, and also what you should do when it comes to planning for growth coming back into the economy. Let me quickly introduce our panelists tonight. Sanjeev Chakravarti, founding partner, Tag8; Rajiv Mukhopadhyay, CFO, Indofil Industries. Rajiv, Sanjay, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. Always exciting to hear from India's largest businesses about their advice and about your advice for our entrepreneurs watching today's conversation. So I want to start first and foremost about talking about 2021 and fiscal 2022. We're at the start of it. As CFOs, as financial minds, leading really the entire finances of your organizations, as large as they are. I want to sort of kickstart today's conversation by asking you, how are you preparing for 2022, given that just when we thought the pandemic was behind us, we're looking at the second wave coming back around. How are you really planning for this year? Rajiv, could I kindly ask for you to take this question on?
Thanks, Sunanda. So, taking care that nowadays we were almost like feeling that the COVID is over, but now we are again back to the same trap. Last March, this March, we are almost the same range. So, overall cash flow in the market, what we saw in the last 1 year is getting in the dry position, especially the markets which are dependent probably on the agriculture or maybe the rural market. So that's something which is very big concern for the companies who are a bit dependent on those markets. So that way we have tried to kind of cash management becomes a very good or maybe a kind of assignment to us. So that's something we took a big initiative that we need to ensure that the cash position doesn't go away. Manufacturing keeps on going. Supply chain doesn't get kind of a troublesome situation in making the containers availability, making the raw materials availability, import situation. So all are kind of a linked with money end of the day. So the finance role obviously becomes more crucial and more kind of important rather in the organization. So what we have done to basically to ensure that sometimes we have actually gone back and tried to adjust the credit market in the sense of maybe the raw material suppliers. Maybe we have tried to talk to the people who are the financiers of the company. Probably you can talk to the equity market, maybe banks, and sometimes we also got some banking kind of a stimulus packages. May not be that great in terms of the financially advantageous position, but we really try to get that. And at the end of the day, overall managing the cash inflow outflow, that is the big assignment in this kind of environment.
We pretty much thought that we were out of the woods around 45 days back when we started hearing the second wave. And again, like the first wave, unfortunately, we thought that what is happening in UK in specific will not happen to us because we are in a different kind of environment. But and we really were gearing up with kind of leaving the past behind and getting through to the next segment. But we are where we are, and the good news is that we've gone through. Still, I think the first wave was something that was completely unprecedented. We just didn't know what was happening around us. There's been, especially for our company, and I talked to a lot of the startups. We've actually, a lot of us have discovered new things that we were not earlier focusing on because the going was good. And for instance, for us, we've actually discovered the entire online platform as well as the entire export space, which is still looking good as we talk, because this is UK, this is US kind of a thing. But yeah, no real straight answer. I think that we are again in the middle of a very volatile environment. I just feel that we are way better prepared than what we were a year back.
Way better prepared, you're saying. So your advice for a small business which is watching today's interview, to tell them this is what you should keep in mind, going by the experience that you had during the last lockdown. If you're looking at another national lockdown that's going to get announced as well, your advice about how someone should be preparing to run their business in these very difficult times. Sanjay, to you first.
The first and foremost, I think most of us have learned it, maybe the hard way, is to be able to be agile as far as your workspace is concerned. So this time round, we don't see absolutely any issue being able to move back to a work from home environment. And frankly, we were at like a 70% work from home any which ways. So it's a matter of getting those 30% back. Right now, we are in the manufacturing space. We do a lot of online sales. In fact, let me tell you, our current sales is actually 5 times the pre-COVID sales number, and this is just about online sales that we are talking about. We are just hoping that during this entire second phase, now that the supply chain is something that hopefully will continue to be the way it's currently working, that will not have that significant an impact. And then, broadly, the message everywhere, I guess, is the same as Rajiv alluded to. Cash clearly is the king. Being able to manage cash is what will help you go through this second wave as well. And there's absolutely no two things about that.
Okay, Rajiv, an interesting and an important point really being made as far as cash is concerned. For a small business is saying, perhaps, 2020 was difficult enough. I wasn't able to perhaps raise funds. I had huge outstanding loans, etc. 2021, I don't have access to that kind of cash. I don't have that much cash in book or, in the bank. What's your advice for them about, managing for 2021, managing the second round of the lockdown?
So managing lockdown in two folds rather. First is obviously you have to manage the business first in the way that it keeps on going. Sometimes we also face the difficulty your manufacturing gets stopped because of the raw material supplies get stopped. Because of the supply chain challenges. That is a separate angle altogether. But because I'm from finance, I can focus that financial challenges is mainly because what we have done is that we try to extend the credit period. We try to talk to the people whom we are working with since probably 20, 25 years. We talk to them that we are temporarily increasing the credit period. If necessary, we'll pay some interest also, no problem. But probably you have to just sail through this particular period, so that you can at the same time, this is the supply side, probably in the payment side, or maybe in the other side of the cash cycle. We have tried to get the stimulus packages for the government. We really can take help of that. It may not be financially very kind of attractive, but it actually helps you to sail through the period. I'm not saying that they are very economically good proposals, because they are, end of the day, you are ending up paying with the interest amount of the whole credit period. But still, I should say that even if you are paying interest, but you can at least sail through the period. So that's a surviving kind of situation. So overall, I don't think we are in that bad situation as we were in the last March. We are in much better prepared. Sanjay is right, absolutely. We are in a much better prepared, and should not be a very large issue in terms of the people who have gone through since last 1 year. I'm sure the worst is over now. It is just a kind of improvement. That much I can say.
Okay, so one is of course having cash in on your books to ensure that you have some sort of you're at some sort of comfortable stage. A lot of companies that we've been speaking with have all introduced new product lines or product extensions. A lot of people going into COVID related kind of products, whether it's sanitizers, gloves, masks, etc. Do you think that you should, as a business, look at a diversified strategy, diversified product lines? How should you look at a changed business strategy when the external environment perhaps is looking so difficult? Would you, as finance professionals, advise for businesses to necessarily have a diversified product portfolio, a diversified business strategy? What's your advice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a strong believer that you need to change with time and what the situation is. At the same time, I also believe that you need to play to your strength. So, frankly, just because the entire dynamics has changed and people are doing a certain things. So, in specific, say, people have started making masks or
Yeah.
sanitizers. If that is not my core area, if I don't have the ability to really do a good job there and be a outlier there, I wouldn't do that. And very frankly, I wouldn't really let advise people to follow that chain. To me, fundamentally, when things are tough as it is now, you have to play to your strength, and in doing
Sure.
so, absolutely look at where else can your strength be used. For example, within our business, we have introduced several new products, but it is pretty much aligned to what we are doing. And interestingly, we are pretty popular in the corporate gifting space, and that's where we've seen a lot of the items change completely from what we were doing earlier, to masks, to sanitizers, to PPE kits. But we didn't jump in despite we had a sales channel, because of the same belief that if we are into that business, we better be really, really good and at the top in doing so, especially if you are a mid-sized business. So that's my take.
Gentlemen, I have to take a quick commercial break. We're back in just a second. Welcome back with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow. Tonight, we're continuing with our special series where we're helping you, the CFO, plan for the new financial year. Rajiv said something interesting, and that was going to be my next question, that the role of the CFO has changed. It has been consistently changing over the past decade or so, but perhaps the most change has been brought about in the past year. If you could talk about how your own roles have changed perhaps in 2020, how you are growing and adapting really to the change demands of the CFO, and give your advice for a small business which is watching today's interview. Sanjay, to you first, and then to Rajiv.
But I think even before this COVID happened, I see the
Yeah.
entire change in the last 4 5 years. And in fact, the role between the strategy, finance, and technology is right now pretty much getting in together. And as Rajiv said, you need to be part of that. You can't just step back and say that, okay, you're in a fiduciary role, you're going to talk about only finance. And I believe that's something that potentially will become like a controller role. If you're only
Sure.
looking at finance, you will end up even within the organization being a controller rather than a CFO. So I would think that
Sure.
CFO now is pretty much, in fact, I would say they have the maximum kind of
Yeah.
impact. We are seeing more and more
Yeah.
CFOs, therefore, getting into the CEO role, which when I started my professional career as a CA, that was unheard of. I mean, no CFO becomes a CEO, but you
Sure.
progressively see even in the largest largest bank in India today, you have the CEO who's basically come through the CFO route. I'm talking about the HDFC Bank. So in essence, I feel that it's you are no longer that only finance guy. You just have a finance domain knowledge. That's your expertise, but you're expected to be a complete team player and bring in strategy, technology. I think that's something that, especially as a CA, you relatively struggle, because that's something that has
Yeah.
perpetually been at a distance, right? But right
Yeah.
now, the one big change that COVID has brought around is automation slash digitization, whatever you may call it. You need to have it to survive. It's no longer that option of saying it's a good to have thing, or if you have it, you will do better. If you
Sure.
need to survive, you better be in an automated position. And digitization has really completely changed over in this last 12 months. And the CFO is pretty much part and parcel of it.
Sure. Rajiv?
The best part of our role is that we have the full view of the business, as a CFO, starting from the new business models to the balance sheet. So, so if you ask me, this role can actually tell you in any one point of time that what is your one or maybe smaller investment which is not yielding return to the company. This is something very few people in the organization normally have. So that's the reason probably CFO's role is much more important and becoming more and more important in the coming days. Uh, uh, Absolutely, digitization, automation, robotic processes are very, very much changing environment. And if you really cannot keep up to the changes, you are out of the industry. Of course, you are out of the industry. But overall,
Sure.
I can tell you that we are expected to now look beyond the numbers. Numbers are fine. This is the earlier kind of a model that used to report the numbers. You kind of tell the businesses that how you have performed. But now people don't expect their role to be ending there with. They expect that you also tell me that, okay, fine, this is something your numbers are. Then what? Then what do you expect to do? What is the kind of money is available to you?
Sure.
Where we should invest and where we cannot? What is the kind of optimal investment model you feel this organization, considering the limited resources, how you should go up to? So these are the changes we can easily see. People are also involving the CFOs in the strategy more and more because the resource availability is best known to him. Also,
Sure.
the practical knowledge of the product, which product is making money, which product is not. There is a wholesome profitability in the company. May not be all the products are making money. So this kind of intrinsic knowledge is available with this role. That's the advantage. And I'm sure we are taking that advantage and we are changing very, very fast. In fact, just to give the closing statement on this particular topic, there are
Yeah.
n number of functions have started reporting to the CFO nowadays. It is not only the finance.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
IT department, I know that a lot of departments are IT department, a lot of organizations is reporting to CFO. I can see some places the HR has started reporting, some places the purchase has started reporting to CFO. So that is nothing but because you have a whole viewpoint. You can see the whole business sitting on your chair. I mean, it's just a kind of a.
Sure.
So that's the reason probably our horizon, our importance, and our strategic positioning is becoming more and more important, and we have to really value to that and keep up to that expectation.
Okay, I'm out of time on this panel, but very briefly, Sanjay, you've mentioned digitization a few times now in this interview. So, do you see enough small businesses and enough CFOs understanding the need for digital in their organizations, particularly small businesses? And if not, what's holding them back?
Yeah, I think small businesses still take some time. But I definitely see the large businesses, and we serve a lot of those larger businesses. There's definitely, that thing has sunk in. I think small businesses are currently struggling to stay alive, to survive. And in that
Yeah.
situation, digitization is not a natural progression. They're just doing anything and everything just to hold on to their position. So frankly, I don't blame them for that. But big businesses, they have just completely, the people we have spoken to 2 years back, 3 years back, in the last 6, 7 months, the moment the actual lockdown got over, we've been flooded with various engagements, which was just unheard of in the past. So big businesses have definitely got onto the board, and it will take some time really for small businesses. And even while we are a provider of technology solutions, I wouldn't recommend them to immediately look at digitization as a way to go. You just need to conserve cash,
Sure.
be there, survive, and you'll have enough time to get there.
Sure. All right, let me take closing comments first from you, Rajiv. The overarching theme that we have on the Leaders of Tomorrow is empowering a billion dreams. 2021, the hope was that it would be a better year, but for any CFO watching today's interview, what advice, what message do you want to leave them with?
One line message: go beyond the numbers, see the total business perspective. That is the way you can really become a right CFO for the future years.
Sure. Sanjay?
I would say just be there, hold in there. This should also pass. And most importantly, I strongly believe what was the worst is already over. It's only to another 5, 6 months, and we'll definitely get through it. If you've survived the first wave, 100% sure you're in a good position to survive the second one too.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. Completely out of time then on this episode, but if you have any feedback for us, do let us know. Our contact details coming up on your screens as we speak. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.